There is a false view that it is the PNP who started Portmore.
I rebuke you! Move, man! I rebuke you!
Another one of the many lies.
Little pig, let me in.
Another attempt at the revisionism of the PNP, trying to revise history.
I rebuke you! Move, man!
It was a vision of the Jamaica Labour Party and Edward Seaga to create Portmore.
Oh, you and your manipulation, move, man! Move! With all that manipulative talk, move, man! Trying to manipulate, man, fam. Move! Move, man! Looking at me for what?
Somehow the concoction, Mr. President, is the concoction that Portmore is the vision of Edward Seaga.
Let's clear that up.
Let's clear that up.
Clear that up.
I turn, Mr. President, to, indeed, what can go so? I turn, Mr. President, to no less of a source than the Jamaica Library Service.
I think we can trust the Jamaica Library Service.
They may fire them after this or carry them to court.
Without prejudice.
This is with prejudice. Mr. President, the Jamaica Library Service indicates that a company was formed called the Portmore Land Development Company. They purchased the property from Caymanas Estate with the intention to establish housing development. In the 1950s, Kingston ran out of flat space for development. So housing development in Portmore was seen as a response to the great outcry for housing. The article goes on to say, before development began, a dike had to be constructed to contain Rio Cobre, and a causeway had to be built to connect Kingston to Portmore. The lowlands also had to be filled by dredging the harbor and quarrying marl from Port Henderson Hill. Once this was completed, the development of housing could begin. From 1956, under Norman Washington Manley. How then could they have come to claim? And I give credit where credit is due. As president of the PNP, we rewarded Edward Seaga for the formation of HEART. We had a whole dinner for him, he came. Mr. Seaga would have been distracted. This is not, not. And I can't claim that Seaga wasn't a visionary. But Portmore was never a part of his vision.
Get it right.
Indeed, history. While the first scheme, Independent City, was built in 1969, it was based on the completion of the Dyke Road and the causeway, for which then efforts was able to start. It says here, in 1969, well, if you want to contradict the Jamaica Library Service, go ahead, because they are an authority on all things. However, it says that in 1969, under the direction of the West Indies Home, the first housing scheme in Portmore was erected and called Independence City. The scheme then consisted of 1,000 housing units, 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms. And so, while Edward Seaga was lucky enough to be in the position in 1969, the vision for Portmore started with the Portmore Development Company that was in...
It's good to learn things, you know. It's good to learn.
You see, I was a student before me.
Yes, the teacher is here now.
I know, I'm a teacher.
Listen, you listen.
The JLP wouldn't understand this. Additionally, Portmore is very important to the People's National Party. Not only because of the political outcomes, but also because it represents the true DNA of the People's National Party.
That's correct.
It represents an example that if normal people are given a chance, they will take that chance, like your mom and like your dad, and run with it. To this extent, after Independence City in 1969, the following was built by the People's National Party: Bridgeport Phase 1 and 2, 1972 and 1974. Passage Fort, 1974. Waterford, 1975. Bridgeport Phase 3, 1976. Portsmouth, 1978. Southborough, 1979. If it was, I'm coming. If it was indeed the vision of Siaga, which we are proving it was not, they saw a great reduction when he regained power, where housing had reduced to only 3 in the 1980s: Westchester, West Bay, and West Bay Phase 2. However, in the 1990s, West Bay Phase 3, Bridgeview, and as well one of the largest construction of housing units, Greater Portmore, was there. I have to give them the PJ look for Greater Portmore. So when we did 10,000 in the 1990s, it suggests that we are no less than 10 times the 1,000 that they did in 1969.
That's right.
We go further.
Go further, Dave.
Just to mash down. We're coming because Portmore must know who their friend is and who their foes are. The schools that we built in Portmore include Arscott High School under the People's National Party, Cedar Grove Academy, Greater Portmore High, Waterford High, Bridgeport Primary, Gregory Clark Primary. Your schools are Independence City Primary School, thank you, for the People's National Party. Kensington Primary, Naggohead Primary 1979, Portsmouth Primary 1976, Southborough Primary 1979, Waterford Primary 1975. I stand corrected because Cedar Grove was 2013, I think that was in the Jamaica Labour Party. A continuation and completion. So those are the facts as it relates to Portmore and the relationship with the People's National Party.